What is Python?
Python is a high-level, interpreted, object-oriented programming language known for its simplicity, readability, and extensive standard library.
Who developed Python?
Python was developed by Guido van Rossum and first released in 1991.
What are the main features of Python?
Python is easy to learn, interpreted, object-oriented, platform-independent, dynamically typed, open source, and supports a large standard library.
What is the difference between compiled and interpreted languages?
Compiled languages are converted into machine code before execution, while interpreted languages execute code line by line. Python is an interpreted language.
Why is Python called a platform-independent language?
Python programs can run on different operating systems, such as Windows, Linux, and macOS, without modifying the source code.
What are variables in Python?
Variables are names used to store data values. Python automatically determines the variable's data type based on the assigned value.
What are the basic data types in Python?
Common data types are int, float, str, bool, list, tuple, set, dictionary, and none type.
What is dynamic typing in Python?
Dynamic typing means you do not need to declare the data type of a variable. Python determines the type at runtime.
What is the difference between int and float?
Int stores whole numbers, while float stores numbers with decimal points.
What is a string in Python?
A string is a sequence of characters enclosed in single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes.
What is a list in Python?
A list is an ordered, mutable collection that allows duplicate elements.
What is a tuple in Python?
A tuple is an ordered, immutable collection that allows duplicate elements.
What is a set in Python?
A set is an unordered collection of unique elements. Duplicate values are automatically removed.
What is a dictionary in Python?
A dictionary is a collection of key-value pairs. Keys are unique, and values can be of any data type.
What is the difference between a list and a tuple?
Lists are mutable and can be modified after creation, whereas tuples are immutable and cannot be changed.
What are Python keywords?
Keywords are reserved words with predefined meanings, such as if-else for while, def, class, and return.
What is indentation in Python?
Indentation refers to the spaces at the beginning of a code block. It defines the structure of the program and is mandatory in Python.
What are comments in Python?
Comments are non-executable lines used to explain code. Single-line comments begin with hash, while multi-line comments use triple quotes.
What is the input function?
The input function reads input from the user as a string.
What is the print function?
The print function displays output on the screen.
What are operators in Python?
Operators are symbols used to perform operations on variables and values, such as arithmetic, comparison, logical, assignment, and bitwise operations.
What are arithmetic operators in Python?
Arithmetic operators include plus, asterisk, slash, %, and for performing mathematical calculations.
What are comparison operators in Python?
Comparison operators compare two values and return true or false. They include equals, equals, greater or equal, and less or equal.
What are logical operators in Python?
Logical operators are and, or, and not. They are used to combine or negate conditional expressions.
What is typecasting in Python?
Typecasting is the process of converting one data type into another using functions such as int, float, str, and bool. Text.
What are conditional statements in Python?
Conditional statements are used to make decisions in a program. The main conditional statements are if, elif, and else.
What is an if statement?
The if statement executes a block of code only if the specified condition is true.
What is the purpose of the elif statement?
The elif statement checks additional conditions if the previous if or elif condition is false.
What is the purpose of the else statement?
The else statement executes a block of code when all previous conditions are false.
What is a nested if statement?
A nested if statement is an if statement placed inside another if statement to check multiple conditions.
What is a loop in Python?
A loop repeatedly executes a block of code until a specified condition is met.
What is a for loop?
A for loop is used to iterate over a sequence such as a list, tuple, string, or range.
What is a while loop?
A while loop repeatedly executes a block of code as long as the specified condition is true.
What is the range function?
The range function generates a sequence of numbers and is commonly used with for loops.
What is the difference between a for loop and a while loop?
A for loop is used when the number of iterations is known, while a while loop is used when the number of iterations depends on a condition.
What is the break statement?
The break statement immediately terminates the nearest loop and transfers control to the next statement after the loop.
What is the continue statement?
The continue statement skips the current iteration of a loop and continues with the next iteration.
What is the pass statement?
The pass statement is a null statement that does nothing. It is used as a placeholder where code is required syntactically.
What is a function in Python?
A function is a reusable block of code that performs a specific task. It is defined using the def keyword.
How do you define a function in Python?
A function is defined using the def keyword, followed by the function name, parentheses, and a colon.
What is the purpose of the return statement?
The return statement ends a function and sends a value back to the calling code.
What are function arguments?
Function arguments are values passed to a function when it is called. They provide input for the function.
What is the difference between parameters and arguments?
Parameters are variables defined in a function declaration, while arguments are the actual values passed during the function call.
What are default arguments in Python?
Default arguments are parameter values that are automatically used if no argument is provided during the function call.
What are keyword arguments?
Keyword arguments are arguments passed using parameter names, making function calls more readable and flexible.
What are variable length arguments?
Args allows a function to accept any number of positional arguments, which are stored as a tuple.
What are keyword variable length arguments?
Asterisk quargs allows a function to accept any number of keyword arguments, which are stored as a dictionary.
What is a lambda function?
A lambda function is a small anonymous function defined using the lambda keyword. It can contain only one expression.
What is recursion in Python?
Recursion is a technique where a function calls itself repeatedly until a base condition is met.
What is the scope of a variable in Python?
Variable scope determines where a variable can be accessed. Python has local, global, and non-local scopes. Text.
What is a module in Python?
A module is a Python file containing functions, classes, and variables that can be imported and reused in other Python programs.
What is a package in Python?
A package is a collection of related Python modules organized in directories. It helps organize large projects.
How do you import a module in Python?
A module is imported using the import statement, such as import math, or from math, import sqrt.
What is the difference between import and from import?
Import imports the entire module, while from import imports specific functions, classes, or variables from a module.
What is the name variable in Python?
The name variable stores the name of the current module. If a file is run directly, its value is main.
What is the purpose of the if name equals main statement?
It ensures that a block of code executes only when the file is run directly, not when it is imported as a module.
What is exception handling in Python?
Exception handling is the process of handling runtime errors using try, except, else, and finally blocks.
What is the try block?
The try block contains code that may raise an exception during execution.
What is the except block?
The except block catches and handles exceptions raised in the try block.
What is the finally block?
The finally block contains code that always executes, regardless of whether an exception occurs.
What is the else block in exception handling?
The else block executes only if no exception occurs in the try block.
What is the raise keyword in Python?
The raise keyword is used to manually generate an exception.
What is a built-in exception in Python?
Built-in exceptions are predefined error types such as value error, type error, index error, key error, and zero division error.
What is file handling in Python?
File handling is the process of creating, reading, writing, and updating files using Python.
How do you open a file in Python?
A file is opened using the open function with the file name and mode, such as open.
What are the different file modes in Python?
Common file modes are R, read W, write as append X, create RB, read binary, WB, write binary.
How do you close a file in Python?
A file is closed using the close method after completing file operations.
What is the with statement in file handling?
The with statement automatically closes a file after use, making file handling safer and easier.
What is object-oriented programming?
Object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm based on classes and objects that improves code reusability and organization.
What is a class in Python?
A class is a blueprint for creating objects. It defines the attributes and methods of an object.
What is an object in Python?
An object is an instance of a class that contains data and methods defined by the class.
What is a constructor in Python?
A constructor is a special method named init that is automatically called when an object is created.
What is the self keyword in Python?
Self refers to the current instance of a class and is used to access instance variables and methods.
What is encapsulation in Python?
Encapsulation is the process of combining data and methods into a single unit and restricting direct access to data.
What is inheritance in Python?
Inheritance allows one class to acquire the properties and methods of another class, promoting code reuse. Text.
What is polymorphism in Python?
Polymorphism allows the same method or function to behave differently for different objects. It is achieved through method overriding and duck typing.
What is method overriding in Python?
Method overriding occurs when a child class provides its own implementation of a method already defined in the parent class.
What is method overloading in Python?
Python does not support traditional method overloading. Similar behavior can be achieved using default arguments or variable length arguments.
What is abstraction in Python?
Abstraction is the process of hiding implementation details and exposing only essential features. It is implemented using abstract classes and the ABC module.
What is an abstract class in Python?
An abstract class is a class that cannot be instantiated and may contain abstract methods that must be implemented by derived classes.
What is the ABC module?
The ABC module is used to create abstract classes and abstract methods in Python.
What is an iterator in Python?
An iterator is an object that allows sequential traversal of elements using the iter and next methods.
What is an iterable in Python?
An iterable is any object that can return an iterator, such as lists, tuples, strings, and dictionaries.
What is a generator in Python?
A generator is a special type of iterator that generates values one at a time using the yield keyword.
What is the difference between return and yield?
Return ends the function and returns a value, whereas yield pauses the function and returns values one by one.
What is a decorator in Python?
A decorator is a function that modifies or extends the behavior of another function without changing its code.
What is a recursive function?
A recursive function is a function that calls itself until a base condition is met.
What is list comprehension?
List comprehension is a concise way to create lists using a single line of code.
What is dictionary comprehension?
Dictionary comprehension is a concise way to create dictionaries using a single expression.
What is set comprehension?
Set comprehension is a concise way to create sets using a single expression.
What is a virtual environment in Python?
A virtual environment is an isolated Python environment that allows different projects to have their own dependencies.
What is pip in Python?
Pip is Python's package manager, used to install, update, and remove third-party libraries.
How do you install a Python package?
A package is installed using the command pip install package name.
What is the difference between local and global variables?
Local variables are accessible only within the function where they are declared, while global variables are accessible throughout the program.
What is the global keyword in Python?
The global keyword allows a function to modify a global variable instead of creating a local variable.
What is the non-local keyword in Python?
The non-local keyword is used to modify a variable in the nearest enclosing scope that is not global.
What is PEP8?
PEP8 is the official Python-style guide that provides coding standards for writing clean and readable Python code.
What is duck typing in Python?
Duck typing means an object's suitability is determined by its methods and attributes rather than its actual type.
What are mutable and immutable objects in Python?
Mutable objects can be modified after creation, while immutable objects cannot be modified.
What is the difference between deep copy and shallow copy?
A shallow copy copies only the top-level object, while a deep copy creates independent copies of all nested objects. Text ID equals PTV9M2.
What is a Python library?
A Python library is a collection of pre-written modules and functions that provide specific functionality, such as NumPy for numerical computing and pandas for data analysis.
What is the difference between a module and a library?
A module is a single Python file containing code, while a library is a collection of related modules.
What is NumPy?
NumPy is a Python library used for numerical computing. It provides support for multi-dimensional arrays, mathematical functions, and high-performance operations.
What is pandas?
Pandas is a Python library used for data manipulation and analysis. It provides data structures such as series and data frame.
What is a data frame in pandas?
A data frame is a two-dimensional, labeled data structure that stores data in rows and columns, similar to a table.
What is a series in pandas?
A series is a one-dimensional, labeled array capable of holding data of any type.
What is the difference between append and extend in Python lists?
Append adds a single element to the end of a list, whereas extend adds all elements from another iterable.
What is the difference between remove and pop in Python lists?
Remove deletes the first occurrence of a specified value, while pop removes and returns an element by its index.
What is the difference between sort and sorted?
Sort sorts a list in place, while sorted returns a new sorted list without modifying the original list.
What is slicing in Python?
Slicing is the process of extracting a portion of a sequence using the syntax sequence.
What is indexing in Python?
Indexing is used to access individual elements of a sequence using their position, starting from index 0.
What is negative indexing in Python?
Negative indexing accesses elements from the end of a sequence. For example, -1 refers to the last element.
What is unpacking in Python?
Unpacking assigns elements of a list, tuple, or other iterable to multiple variables in a single statement.
What is the zip function?
The zip function combines two or more iterables into a single iterator of tuples.
What is the enumerate function?
The enumerate function returns both the index and value while iterating over a sequence.
What is the map function?
The map function applies a specified function to each element of an iterable and returns an iterator.
What is the filter function?
The filter function returns an iterator containing elements that satisfy a given condition.
What is the reduce function?
The reduce function repeatedly applies a function to the elements of an iterable and reduces them to a single value. It is available in the functools module.
What is the difference between is and equals in Python?
Equals equals compares the values of two objects, while is checks whether two variables refer to the same object in memory.
What is none in Python?
None is a special constant that represents the absence of a value or a null value.